In the left corner, we have Dave. Dave is an employee. He trades 40 hours of his week for a steady paycheck and the right to complain about the coffee in the break room. In the right corner, we have Gary. Gary is an entrepreneur. Gary trades 100 hours of his week for the freedom to have a panic attack in a Starbucks at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. The internet tells you Dave is a slave and Gary is a god. But the 2026 data is in, and it turns out both of them are miserable. They've just chosen different brands of burnout. Today, we're going to find out who's actually happier and why the answer is neither of them. Let's start with Dave, because honestly, Dave's getting roasted on every platform right now. TikTok gurus call him a wage slave. LinkedIn influencers pity him, and YouTube bros in rented Lamborghinis say he's thinking small. But here's the thing about Dave, he sleeps at night. Most nights, anyway. Dave has what researchers call temporal boundaries, a fancy way of saying when he logs off at 5 p.m., he's actually done. His brain gets to turn off. He watches Netflix without guilt. He goes to his kid's soccer game without checking his phone every 4 minutes. The data shows Dave has lower baseline stress than Gary. He's also 40% less likely to describe his work as all-consuming. Sounds good, right? Except Dave is slowly dying inside for a completely different reason. It's not the work itself. It's the lack of control. Dave doesn't choose his projects. He doesn't choose his hours. He definitely doesn't choose the passive-aggressive Karen from accounting who CCs the entire company on every email like she's forwarding a chain letter from 2004. Dave suffers from what psychologists call learned helplessness. He's a passenger in his own career, and the 2026 workplace isn't making it easier. Post-pandemic, companies figured out they can track your keystrokes, monitor your mouse movements, and measure your productivity in ways that would make Orwell sweat. Dave is literally being watched by an algorithm that decides if he's working hard enough. So, yeah, Dave clocks out at 5, but he also spends Sunday night with what we now call the Sunday scaries. That creeping dread that starts around 4 p.m. and whispers, "Tomorrow, you go back to the place that doesn't care if you exist." Dave isn't free, he's just renting his misery by the hour. Then there's Gary. Gary escaped the Matrix. He's his own boss. Which sounds great until you realize Gary's boss is a jerk who never lets him take a vacation. Gary has autonomy, which data shows makes him feel more satisfied, but he's also 50% more likely to have a mental health crisis. He's paying for his freedom with hyper-accessibility. Because it's 2026, Gary's clients expect him to reply to a Slack message while he's at his kid's birthday party. Gary isn't building an empire, he's just built a prison with better branding. Let me paint you a picture of Gary's Tuesday. He wakes up at 5:30 a.m. because some business podcast told him that's what successful people do. He doesn't want to wake up at 5:30. His body is begging him to sleep until 7. But he's optimizing. Gary meditates for 11 minutes, not 10, because he read that 11 is the sweet spot. Then he journals his intentions, makes a green smoothie that tastes like lawn clippings, and sits down to work at 6:45 a.m. By 9 a.m., he's already had 2 client calls, replied to 47 emails, and posted inspirational content on LinkedIn about the grind. By noon, he realizes he forgot to eat breakfast. By 3 p.m., he's Googling signs of burnout, but doesn't have time to read the article because another client just texted him with an urgent question about a logo color. Gary will work until 10 p.m. He'll tell himself he's building something. And technically he is. He's building resentment, adrenal fatigue, and a growing suspicion that the laptop lifestyle he was promised looks a lot like being handcuffed to a laptop. Research from 2025 shows that entrepreneurs report higher life satisfaction than employees, but only if they're successful. If Gary's business is struggling, his happiness tanks below Dave's, because at least Dave gets paid when the company has a bad quarter. Gary just gets to refresh his bank account and cry. And here's what nobody tells you. Gary isn't just running a business. He's also doing his own accounting, customer service, marketing, IT support, and janitorial work. He's not a CEO. He's a one-man sweatshop with a motivational Instagram caption. Gary has freedom, sure. The freedom to work every single day. The freedom to never feel like he's doing enough. The freedom to wonder at 2 a.m. if he made a horrible mistake. Here's the thing Dave and Gary have in common. They both think the other guy has it figured out. Dave scrolls Instagram and sees Gary on a beach with a laptop. Caption, "Another day in paradise. Build the life you want." Dave doesn't see the 3 panic attacks Gary had that week, or the fact that Gary's working from the beach because he can't afford to take a real vacation. Gary looks at Dave and thinks, "Man, must be nice to clock out and not worry." Gary doesn't see Dave staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering if this is all there is, wondering if he wasted his potential, wondering if he should have taken the risk. They're both trapped, just in different cages. The real scam isn't being an employee or an entrepreneur. The real scam is the idea that you have to pick a side, that you have to optimize your entire existence around work, that your worth is measured by your productivity, your revenue, or your job title. The game is rigged, and the only way to win is to stop playing by their rules. So who wins? Neither. The winner is the person who stops playing the game. We call this the portfolio career or slow productivity. Instead of choosing between a 9 to 5 cage or a 24/7 hustle, the dropout chooses autonomy over scale. They do fewer things at a natural pace, and they obsess over quality instead of growth. They realize that $10,000 a month with zero free time is worth less than $4,000 a month with total control. Let me introduce you to Maria. Maria used to be like Dave. She worked in corporate marketing, made decent money, hated Mondays, and lived for Fridays. Then she thought about becoming Gary. She almost quit to start a social media agency. Almost. But then Maria did something radical. She asked herself what she actually wanted. Not what Instagram told her to want, not what her parents expected, not what would look good on LinkedIn. What did she, Maria, actually want her life to feel like? Her answer? She wanted Tuesday afternoons free. She wanted to work on things that didn't make her feel dead inside. She wanted enough money to live comfortably, but she didn't need a Tesla or a ring light or a 7-figure anything. So Maria negotiated a 4-day work week at her corporate job, took a small pay cut, used that extra day to freelance on the side, but only with clients she liked, on projects she cared about. She made less than she did before, but her doctor stopped prescribing her anxiety medication. She started sleeping through the night. She remembered what hobbies were. Maria is what we call a dropout. She didn't quit her job in a blaze of glory. She didn't scale a business. She just redesigned her life to include more life. The dropout philosophy is simple. Reject the binary. You don't have to be Dave or Gary. You can be both. You can be neither. You can work part-time and freelance part-time. You can have a boring, stable job and a weird creative side project that makes no money but makes you happy. You can build something small that doesn't need to grow. The 2026 happiness data is clear. The people who report the highest life satisfaction aren't the richest or the freest. They're the ones with the most control over their time. The ones who can say no. The ones who've stopped chasing someone else's definition of success. Happiness in 2026 isn't about what you do. It's about how much of your day you actually own. Look, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm not saying don't start a business. I'm saying stop letting TikTok gurus and LinkedIn influencers tell you there's only one path to a good life. Dave isn't a failure. Gary isn't a hero. They're just two people who believed the hype and ended up exhausted. You know what's actually radical in 2026? Being okay with enough. Making enough money. Working enough hours. Achieving enough success. And then stopping. Just stopping. The hustle culture lie is that there's always another level, another promotion, another revenue goal, another milestone. And once you hit it, you'll finally be happy, you'll finally be free, you'll finally be enough. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Enough is a decision, not a destination. You don't find it, you choose it. So stop trying to win at work, start trying to win at life. If you're tired of the hustle, hit the subscribe button. We're building a community of people who are perfectly fine with being behind as long as we're happy. People who'd rather have a small, peaceful life than a big, chaotic one. People who understand that the real flex in 2026 isn't your net worth, it's your peace of mind. I'm the Hustle Culture Dropout. Go take a nap. You've earned it. And remember, the best investment you'll ever make isn't in crypto or a side hustle or a course on passive income. It's in your Tuesday afternoon. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does.